promoting a healthy environment. It's the air we breathe. Clean, safe water. Responsible management of our natural resources. We protect and restore for a sustainable future. Environment matters.
You'll find them in houses, garages, and basements everywhere. Common household chemicals that, when used or mixed improperly, can have dangerous, even deadly consequences. Plus,
we're very pleased with the response, and really we're just barely scratching the surface with what's possible.
Using technology to help reach more people. We'll go behind the scenes of the DEP's latest communications tool, live webcasting. Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Environment Matters. I'm Greg Adolphson with the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection. The first phase of what promises to be a long and involved cleanup process at the former Freedom Industries Etowah River Terminal site was completed recently with the removal of most of the above-ground storage tanks there. It's a much different view of the site now that only 4 of the original 14 steel tanks remain. Those remaining tanks will be used to store potentially contaminated water runoff from the site. The remaining tanks, including Tank 396, which leaked roughly 10,000 gallons of chemicals into the Elk River earlier this year, were taken down by site contractor Independence Excavating. DEP inspectors have remained on the site during the demolition to oversee the process. The next phase involves the beginning of a thorough analysis of the underlying soil and groundwater to determine the extent of the contamination and the steps necessary to remediate the site. The leak, which once was discovered back on January 9th, contaminated the water supply for roughly 300,000 customers in 9 surrounding counties. It prompted state legislation requiring annual inspections of above-ground storage tanks, leak detection systems, and establishment of spill response plans by tank owners. Tank owners have until October the 1st to register their tanks with the DEP in order to comply with the new law. The information will be used by the DEP to develop a risk-based assessment to determine where the biggest potential threats to public health and the environment are located. All storage containers that hold at least 1,320 gallons of liquid and are 90% or more above the ground and at a fixed location for 60 days or more are subject to the regulation. Public hearings are a fairly common occurrence here at DEP, and there are usually plenty of available seats for anyone wanting to sit in. But that's not always the case. Sarah Sharp joins us now with a look at how DEP is getting information out to the public in real time.
Greg, the Surface Mine Board's recent hearing regarding the appeal of Keystone Industries' KD No. 2 mine permit generated so much interest from the public, there simply weren't enough seats available in the hearing room to accommodate the expected crowds. The solution: stream the hearing live. A packed hearing room filled with board members, witnesses, attorneys, reporters, and other interested parties. But what you don't see are the hundreds of people who watched the hearing live over YouTube and Google+. Roughly 800 live streams were started during the nearly 9 hours of testimony on day 1 of the hearing. That's at least 800 people that might not otherwise have had a chance to observe the proceedings.
The main reason we were interested in doing the live feed is that we're trying to be as open about this process as possible. We have folks that have expressed an interest, have met with the Secretary about the mining permit in that area. We thought that this would be the best opportunity for folks to be able to participate fully in the process and also get a good education also about how that system works when someone files an appeal.
The live stream was also picked up and shared by at least 2 West Virginia news organizations. Metro News and West Virginia Public Broadcasting both included links on their websites to the DEP's live stream.
We're very pleased with the response, and really we've just barely scratched the surface with what's possible with the technology. It helped that we already had a well-established presence on YouTube and Google+, so folks that follow us and subscribe to the channel were able to get an alert when the live stream was going to start. We had done some very limited testing in the week leading up to the hearing, but had never attempted anything beyond about 30 minutes. So the hearing, all 9 hours of it, was a very public beta test.
While we can't do this for every public hearing that we have, I think that we now know and have tested out what it takes and learned some valuable lessons in the process about how in the future we might be able to allow people into the room without having them to physically come to Kanawha City. We've had a really good feedback from folks. We've had a large number of people that have viewed it. It's now continues to be on our channel so that folks can tune into it and be able to look at it. It has become a historical document of what actually occurred on those days, and something that people can go back and look at if they have questions.
It also opens up the possibility of streaming remotely from different venues across the state.
As long as you have a fast, reliable internet connection and a laptop powerful enough to encode the video, you can live stream pretty much from anywhere. It can even work wirelessly if there's enough available bandwidth. It's similar technology to what a lot of television news organizations are using right now. Basically, it's a live truck in a box. And I think going forward, as we refine our equipment, I expect we'll be able to do a lot more of this in the future.
Some technical problems with our network here at DEP headquarters caused several interruptions during the live stream of the second day of hearings, but a backup recording of day 2, along with the recording of the first day of the hearing, is available and will remain available on both our YouTube and Google Plus pages. For Environment Matters, I'm Sarah Sharp.
Thanks, Sarah. 2 sanitation workers in Huntington were recently sickened by toxic fumes when containers of 2 common household chemicals, bleach and ammonia, were inadvertently mixed together in a bag of trash. That's just one example of how chemicals we use every day and are generally safe when used properly can become dangerous, even deadly.
Certain types of chemicals found in many households have the potential to harm people and the environment if handled or disposed of improperly. But there are some common sense solutions that can help you stay safe.
So you definitely read the instructions. And when it comes to household chemicals, it's never a good idea to mix them in any concentration in any way. With bleach, if you mix it with an acid, you're going to have a problem. With weak acids like vinegar, bleach and vinegar, it can still release some chlorine vapors and cause some irritation to the lungs and eyes. And with a strong acid, it can cause a violent fuming situation. And there have been issues where that I've read about that people put cleaners that mix bleach and cleaners in their toilets and cause fumes and were in poorly ventilated places and made themselves very, very ill.
The safest way to store potentially dangerous household chemicals is in their original container in an out-of-the-way place away from heat, children, or pets. Most injuries caused by household chemicals come from ignoring these few simple rules.
With chlorine and ammonia, you have chloramine vapors that could escape and cause illness. They could cause burning and irritation to the lungs and to the eyes. And also with chlorine and ammonia, there's a chemical called hydrazine, liquid hydrazine, that if ammonia is in the right concentration, it can be explosive.
Another problem can come from long forgotten chemicals, often encountered when cleaning out a garage or a basement.
We have a lot of pesticides that we get in that are old, and as a matter of fact, if they come across some of those old chemicals, sometimes it's better just to leave it where it is and not move it. For example, mercury is one of the things we commonly find stored away somewhere. It's not even labeled. It's been poured into a mason jar, and it's best to just leave it be, and we'll take care of it and get rid of it. Because if it's broken, then it's more of a problem to try to clean up.
Bottom line, if you have questions, ask.
We can certainly give some advice on what they have. Some of the stuff can be thrown in the trash, but there are some things that do need to be disposed of properly, and our office can help with that.
You can also check with your local solid waste authority. Many offer special collection events held throughout the year. In Charleston, I'm Brianna Hickman for Environment Matters.
According to the US EPA, one of the best ways of reducing the threat from household hazardous waste is to reduce your purchases of products that contain certain hazardous ingredients. You can learn more about products and alternative methods without hazardous ingredients by visiting their website, epa.gov. Coming up,
West Virginia has been one of our standout states since the pilot year. Really phenomenal work.
celebrating West Virginia's newest National Green Ribbon Schools, how the state's Sustainable Schools movement is getting some national attention. Plus, breathing a little easier. A look at how air quality in many parts of the state has seen dramatic improvement. Those stories and more when Environment Matters continues.